Hello YouTube. Today I'm going to be doing a lyrical analysis of the song Scarlet Begonias by the Grateful Dead. It's going to be a little bit out there if you're not acquainted with this style of interpretation and analysis, so take it as you will. If you like it, cool. If you don't, also cool. I want to give a shout out to my buddy Madhu. I don't really know him very well, but I bought this t-shirt from him at Dead & Company in New York City last year. And it's an alchemical image, and written along the borders is some stuff, some of the lyrics to Scarlet Begonias, and it commemorates the first time that Scarlet Begonias and Fire on the Mountain were played at the same time. So thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, we can kind of jump in on it. I'll pull up the lyrics and we'll see where this goes. So, first off, the first line, as I was walking around Grosvenor Square. This one I interpret to be, if you're familiar with Carl Jung and alchemy, there's an idea about the circling of the square. And it kind of is about individuation and the progression of consciousness. And so if you think about the state that you're born into in the world, we're born in a unitive state. Our consciousness does not have differentiation between I and other. It's a unitive field. And that's kind of the ground from which everything emerges. And there's kind of a process of becoming an individual that is represented by the square. So the circle initially is that unity, and then as you get older, you learn to distinguish through mental processes, through experience of the world, that there is a difference between yourself and others. Consciousness does have form. It does have individual representations, which is us. And I think it's interesting because he's walking round Grosvenor Square. And to me, that's, you start the initial circle, unity, you go to the square, which is becoming a formulated individual in the world, becoming a person. But then I think on the path of enlightenment, there comes the moment where that square turns back into a circle. And I think that's kind of the eternal game that we're all playing. It's you start at unity, you find separation, and then you have to find unity after that initial separation. And that's a universal story that kind of permeates all mythologies and all high spiritual traditions, Christianity, we fell from grace in the garden, we were there with God, and then we fell, and there's this idea of the thing called the Felix Culpa, and it's the fortunate fall. And I think it's quite beautiful because it's the fall from grace that lets us truly appreciate what it means to be unified with God, or what it means to be unified with spirit at large. And you couldn't really know how beautiful that is unless you had taken that fall, unless you had become that square, unless you had become and forgotten the original nature that everything is. And so I think it's quite a beautiful thing. And so in this analysis, I interpret that first opening line as kind of indicative of what this whole song is about. It's about rounding the square. It's about going from that state of separation, that state of living in the realm of Maya, of illusion, and returning back to eternity, essentially, returning back to God, the source, to spirit. And that's kind of the lens that I'm going to interpret the whole song. So it's very interesting. The first line, I feel like, contains kind of the seeds of that entire thing. Not a chill to the winter, but a nip to the air. I don't really have much on that one, From the other direction, she was calling my eye. It could be an illusion, but I might as well try. I might as well try. And I think this is quite interesting. Could be an illusion. I mean, what's Maya besides the world of illusion? You know, that's to me, that's pretty right there. You know, it's not much of a question for me. But I might as well try. Might as well try. And it's kind of like that's the temptation that we all fall into in this life. It's like, you know that this realm is illusion. We all, on some intuitive, deep level, know that this realm is illusion. And yet, we have to go through it. We have to. And it's quite crazy. But you might as well try, right? She had rings on her fingers and bells on her shoes. And that, to me, again, it's the realm of Maya. It has this attractive force that draws you in, you know? Rings on her fingers, bells on her toes. Like, I don't know, you know? Bells on her shoes, I'm sorry. But that's just how it is, you know? It's this seductive quality that draws you into it. And it's beautiful, but it's not the whole picture. I knew without asking she was into the blues. I mean, again, what do people say about the realm of Maya, about the realm of illusion? Suffering. You knew without asking she was into the blues? Suffering? The blues? Really? Come on, you know? She wore scarlet begonias tucked into her curls. I knew right away she was not like other girls. Other girls. She does have scarlet begonias in her hair. She is beautiful, you know? She is indeed... Oh, somebody's at the door. She is indeed beautiful, and we like that, you know. That's what it is. Knew right away she was not like other girls. Well, yeah, she's not other girls. She is the archetypal girl in some type of way, you know. In the thick of the evening, when the dealing got rough, she was too pat to open and too cool to bluff. As I picked up my matches and was closing the door, I had one of those flashes. I'd been there before. Okay, in the thick of the evening when the dealing got rough. I don't have much on that besides it's kind of like, you know, you're in a difficult spot in life. You're in a difficult position. She was too pat to open and too cool to bluff. Now, I have had this sense. I see it almost as a mental image in my head of what the realm of Maya kind of is. It's this thing that you look into and you almost try to grab it and make sense of it. But every time you do that, it slips immediately through your fingers and you're never able to have a solid grasp on what it is. And to me, she was too pat to open and too cool to bluff is like, she won't open and reveal the secrets, but she's also too cool to bluff. She's not lying to you. You know, there's a weird degree of truth embedded in the nature of Maya. But, yeah. So, as I picked up my matches and was closing the door, I think matches are quite an interesting image to be used here, because what's a match? It is the potential of fire. And to me, fire is spirit. Fire is soul. And so you take that thing that creates fire and creates spirit, creates soul, and you leave. And then you have this sensation, I've been there before. So you're having that deja vu moment of like, I've been in this realm of illusion before, and it's almost like it's like a past life thing, you know. It's like we've gone through these cycles of death and rebirth, and we've lived human lives, we've died, we've gone to the spirit realm and returned, and so we've been to the spirit realm, we've been to this realm, and so we have a cognition of what that other side is. But then you have the kind of realization of like, I've been in this realm before. This is crazy. Wow. So, well, it ain't always right, but I've never been wrong. It seldom turns out the way it does in the song. Once in a while, you get shown the light in the strangest of places if you look at it right. Yeah, I don't really have much on that, but it's, again, the realm of Maya. I ain't always right, but I've never been wrong. In this realm, truth is transitory in that type of way. In the realm of illusion, you're never really going to be right all the time, but you're never really going to be wrong. It's kind of an ambiguous place. Seldom turns out the way it does in a song. Again, kind of same thing. Once in a while you get shown the light in the strangest place if you look at it right. To me, that's just like, sometimes you have revelations in the strangest of ways about what this world, what this reality really is. And yeah, I don't know. Well, there ain't nothing wrong with the way she moves, or Scarlet Begonias, or A Touch of the Blues. And I'll stop right there on that one. There's nothing wrong with this realm of Maya and illusion. This is an intrinsic part of reality. This is an intrinsic part of the creation that God has made with which we venture through. And there's nothing wrong with the Scarlet Begonias or the touch of the... There's nothing wrong with the beauty, and there's also nothing wrong with the suffering and the pain. You know, it's kind of just intrinsic to what this place is. And we can appreciate that and not have to reject it or interact with it in any type of way other than what it is. There's nothing wrong with the look that's in her eyes. I had to learn the hard way to let her pass by, let her pass by. And I think this right here is the transitional moment of the song. This is where it gets really, really interesting, particularly in the context of the lines that are to come after this. I had to learn the hard way to let her pass by. It's like, I think if you've been on a spiritual path, you know, I think you might be able to relate to this. You can, in different moments, become too associated with the world of form, too associated with things of this world, you know, and those things are not the transcendent reality, the ground of all being that we all emerge from. And there is, I think, a very necessary movement of letting go of the world of form, letting go of the realm of illusion, you know, because you're on the path. You're on the path to enlightenment, whether you know it or not. And there does come a moment where you have to let go. And your consciousness then becomes unified to the spirit which is eternal, which manifests this reality. And you can only get there by letting go of this one. It's kind of like Jesus, you know. Today is Wednesday, after Easter Sunday, and it's very much so like the mythology of Jesus, you know. He gave his worldly life for life eternal. And I think that's the task that we're all faced with. We're all faced with the task of sacrifice, this realm of illusion, for the ultimate truth, for the ultimate ground of being that we all emerge from God. And we have to let it all go to get to God, you know? And this realm of illusion prevents us from doing that. Yeah. So, and here's where it gets really interesting. So you've let her pass by, right? You saw this beautiful girl with bells and rings, you know, and you were attracted to her, and she had scarlet begonias, but there was sadness too. But you're infatuated in some type of way. So it's kind of a love story in that type of way, you know? You fell in love, and then you let it go. And you let it go in the search of the truth, in search of the higher thing. You had to let her pass by. And now you arrive at the place of Wind in the Willows playing Tea for Two. Now, Tea for Two is, surprisingly enough, a love song. It was written in 1924 by Vincent Youmans. I have no idea who that is. But how strange is it that you go immediately from letting go of that love, of that attraction, and immediately the next line is then the wind and the willows playing T for two. And T for two. Picture you upon my knee, just T for two and T for two. Me for you and you for me alone. Nobody near us to see or hear us. No friends or relations on weekend vacations. We won't have it known, dear, that we own a telephone. Yada, yada, yada. Day will break and you'll awake and start to bake a sugar cake for me to take to all the boys to see. Oh, we will raise a family, a boy for you, a girl for me. Oh, can't you see how happy we would be? We will raise a family, a boy for you, 6 little girlies for me. Can't you see how happy we would be? This is a love song. That's marriage. That's beauty. And it's like, how strange that you saw Scarlet Begonias, you let the Scarlet Begonias girl go, and then the next line, the wind in the willows playing T for two. What is the wind? The wind is the breath of God. It is the Spirit. If you look in Genesis in the Bible, it's the wind is the breath, the Spirit of God speaking to you. And so, you let it go, and then something comes back. And I think it's interesting that it's marriage, because I think the aim of this thing is a marriage of heaven and earth. I think that's what the name of the game of this existence is. We don't just suddenly transcend the realm of Maya and illusion and suddenly, we're fully enlightened and we no longer have corporeal form. I think it's integrating that corporeal form into spirit, into enlightenment, into God. And yeah, so moving further on that idea, the sky was yellow and the sun was blue. So I was listening to a Ram Dass lecture maybe a few days ago, and he was talking about this idea of, you start out being associated with the body, and your primary sense of experience is being a body with a spirit. But he said, as you progress, you get more and more moments of feeling that spirit, of feeling the spirit that animates everything that's in you. And he kind of says, you get more moments of that, and it's almost like a percentage thing. And there's a certain moment that happens where you cross a threshold, where you go from feeling primarily like a body with a spirit to feeling primarily like a spirit with a body. So you're spending more time as a spirit inhabiting a body than you are as a body inhabiting a spirit. And I think this line, the sky was yellow and the sun was blue, it's an inversion of reality, because normally, the sky is blue and the sun is yellow. But now the sky is yellow and the sun is blue. That's an inversion of the primary experience of reality that you typically have. And to me, in the context of this song, that I think is a transition into, being your sense of personal identification now being lopsided, and now it's more spirit. And especially in the context of you just let go of the realm of illusion. And I have further context for this, because it goes from that to strangers stopping strangers just to shake their hand. Everybody's playing in the Heart of Gold band, Heart of Gold band. Strangers stopping strangers just shake their hands. It's you realize the fundamental unity between you and everybody else. And you're able to interact with the world in a little bit of a different way. And everybody's playing in the Heart of Gold band, the Heart of Gold band. Need I say more? I will. I think that's pretty straightforward, though. It's recognizing that everybody and everything emerges from the cosmic heart of God. And we're all unified in that essence. And we're all playing in God's band, essentially. And yeah, I feel like that's the point of enlightenment right there. You traveled through the realm of illusion, you let it go, And then as you let it go, you arrived at a point where true unification happened. You know, heaven and earth merged by the T for 2 line, you know, Wind in the Willow playing T for 2. Let it go, then a divine marriage happened. And then you recognized the spirit that inhabits everything, and you recognized that we're all the same, we're all one, and you've had a transformation. That's about all I got for that, but hope you liked this analysis. I will probably be doing more of these, and if you have any thoughts, leave them in the comments. If you think I'm crazy, could be, but these are just my thoughts. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and hope you hear that Wind in the Willows playing T for 2.